Jesus help us. Oh,
All right, we are live. We are live. We are live. Thank you to everyone who is here with us on this fine day. I truly appreciate your presence. For all the newcomers, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here with us. It is truly appreciated and it's coming from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. With that being said, would you please be able to touch that like, hit that subscribe, and touch that notification bell so you can be on the up and up of all the upcoming information and lives or anything that will come to this channeling session because it's more than just a channel. Thank you for being here with KSHO. My name is Keita. So today what we're going to be getting into is the education of others, all while you're educating yourself. And I have a beautiful divine subject matter expert who will elaborate on this subject today. And I'm going to let you guys know, I love my backstories. My backstories are it. So, this is my sister. Man, we was rolling together, going to band practice, going to eat, going everywhere in the Altima. We was out. I'm telling you, like this is my sister from another mister. You know what I mean? I truly appreciate her soul, her spirit, who she is. She's talented. She's an educator. She's a mentor. And she's such a wonderful person just to be around. And I truly appreciate, adore her, and respect her tremendously. And through this live, she will be divulging in the education piece and how she has the ability to reach out and educate others, but also keep herself well informed so she could be the best educator out there. So I would like to welcome you guys, Miss Chrystinique Gooden. Sis,
hey,
good. How are you, ma'am?
I'm making it. How are you?
I'm good. I'm divine. I'm majestic. So tell us, sis, about what you do, your accomplishments, your goals, your businesses. Like, let us know what's up.
All right. Hi, everybody. I am Chrystinique Gooden. I currently reside in Birmingham, Alabama. I am an elementary band director. However, I teach everything: music, band, strings, and choir, all wrapped up into one. So a day in my life is hectic, to say the least. I teach K-5, so I have kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth grade. My kindergarten through second grade, they just do general music and choir every so often, and we play general music instruments. And third grade through fifth grade, we do band. I normally don't do band with third grade, but I started something this year. A little crazy of me, but I try. So um, I do that. I also teach at Lawson State Community College. I teach music appreciation. I haven't been teaching it lately, but I am an instructor there. Um, I don't have any businesses. However, I could. I make t shirts every now and again. It's just like a hobby or a pastime. It kind of relaxes my brain. I'll try anything once. So I do a little hair, I bedazzle a few things. Anything creative, I'll try to do it. That's just what's on my brain. Um, let's see, my accomplishments. I went to the great Alabama A&M University. Go Bulldogs.
Let's go.
I have a bachelor's and a master's in music education. I also have a master's in counseling psychology, all from Alabama A&M. Recently, I have received my EDS, which is an education specialist degree. I got that from Troy University, and I am awaiting word prayerfully that I get back into Troy to receive my doctorate.
Yeah.
So those are a few of my accomplishments. I am a member of Sigma Alpha Iota International Music Fraternity for Women.
Go.
I also am a member of the Order of Eastern Star. And recently, I became a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority in Incorporated.
Nice.
Um, let's see, what else? What else did you ask me?
That is beautiful. You've answered everything. So, with that being said, I wanted you guys to know that she is well decorated, she is well versed, she is well educated, and she is absolutely amazing and beautiful. So that's why I brought her on here so that she can divulge in this subject matter of education. You see the education that she has. So it's almost seamless for her to be able to educate others. She educate from kindergarten all the way to the collegiate level. So she has the ability to tap into different personality traits in order to be able to divulge information to them to where they'll be able to understand, understand, overstand, especially in the arena of music, which I think is so spectacular and just so prestigious. And I truly appreciate that. So, sis, with that being said, I got a question for you.
Okay.
What are some of the vantage points or approaches that you utilize in order to like get through to the kindergarten opposed to getting through to the collegiate level? What are the major differences and what are the similarities?
Um, the similarities is music is universal. So music can reach anybody. It doesn't matter what level you teach. But the difference with the smaller babies and the collegiate level, you have to come to class and you have to listen and you have to pay attention to where you get a good grade. But in my collegiate class, I try to make it where it relates to your everyday life because music is all around us. And the class that I teach is music appreciation. So it's not like when I went to college and I had to learn the fundamentals of music. Music appreciation just, I literally want you to appreciate music. So I talk to my students like we're having a conversation, just a general conversation. I give them the information and then we talk about it. Now, with my little babies, they have an attention span of a pea. It is horrid to get listen, I have to it's a struggle to get them to sit down. You can't let them sit down by themselves. You literally have to go touch the chair and touch them to sit down. So it's like their attention span is so short. So it's like you have to give them bits and pieces and they can grab the information, that's no problem. It's just getting them to listen to you. Like I can lecture a college class, I can't lecture my little babies. They have to be moving, and it's so many different components to teaching, especially music. Oh my goodness. So my approach with the little kids, first with them, they have to know that you care. Like I have one little boy in my kindergarten class. Every day he gives me a hug because I don't think he gets that at home. He doesn't get hugs and how you doing or just somebody genuinely caring about him like that. So my little babies, they take a lot of TLC. You have to hug them, hold their hand. Sometimes it's a bit taxing when you have 20 kids that want to give you a hug, but I have to stop and take a step back and think behind the scenes, what aren't they getting? Because if they don't get that, they're not going to want to learn anything from me because they have a need that hadn't been met outside of my classroom. So if they want to give me a hug, I give them a hug. By the time I get them to the classroom and we sit down, I promise I have a good 10 or 15 minutes to teach them something. And it's frustrating at times because you have to do lesson plans and plan this elaborate lesson that you probably won't get to teach. And as an educator, you have to be flexible and not so tied down to your plan because you may not get that. Like your day may not go as planned. My days never go as planned. A lot of times I'm teaching off the top of my head because of the circumstances that I'm up against. So my approach with the little ones is so show that I care and then give them just a little bit of information bit by bit. And then the way I teach them like we're playing games or having fun. They're learning music indirectly. Like I love teaching students rhythm because there are so many things that we can do with rhythm that doesn't look like I'm literally teaching you quarter notes, eighth notes, half notes, things like that. And they enjoy that. So I place that foundation in place in kindergarten with just movement and things like that. So by the time they move on, I just pack it onto my foundation. So by the time they get to third grade, I have a musician, which is essentially what I'm trying to do. So I don't really do the middle part, like the middle school and the high school. I love to be the one to set the foundation and put that into them that music is important because music actually encompasses all of the general subjects. Like we read, we do syllables, things like that. Just educating myself on just what the general teachers use and what I use, and I put it together. It's like I wish people would realize that music is so important because it can enhance what they're already learning. You know what I'm saying? So I hope I answered that question right because I just, when I get to talking, I get to talking.
No, that was beautiful insight. I truly appreciate that. And what I wanted to really touch on is you being able to articulate to the children about, setting a foundation that they don't even know that they're receiving, but you articulate it in a fashion to where they can grasp it. And you was like, as soon as they get to like the third grade, you've created a musician, and that's such a beautiful dynamic. So with your implementation as an educator, what is it that parents can do to further enforce what you're doing or further complement what, like, the foundation that you set for these children, so that they can be well rounded in the musical space? Because I know when kids are exposed to music, especially at a young age, they have the ability to excel in their academics. So what is it that parents can do in complement to what you do as an educator for the children?
It's simple. Support them.
Mm.
That's all they need to do. Support them and encourage them because when I know because I'm starting out beginning band and I love them so much, but they're horrible. They sound awful. But and I'm not the type of teacher that'll say, "Oh my gosh, you guys sound so good," and they sound terrible. I'm not going to say that. You guys, we don't sound too good, but if we do this, we'll make it better. So I'll tell them that and then I'll work through it with them because essentially I'm trying to model how they practice and get better. And a lot of our parents, they aren't musically inclined unless they were in the band or a dance girl or something like that. They don't know anything about band or music in general. So what I tell my parents is, hey, your child is bringing this. I told a parent this today. Your child is bringing an instrument home now because it was an oboe. And you know, an oboe, it's not the best sounding instrument. I love it, but to the naked ear, it is really awful. So I
True.
told my parent today, I said, hey, your child is bringing this instrument home. Now listen, it don't sound too good and she doesn't sound too good, but this is what I need you to do. Just listen to her and say, baby, I see you working and you're going to do great. Just
Mhm.
if you encourage them, it pushes them so far. And just being a teacher at that level, I see that it also builds their confidence as well. Because I know a lot of grown people who are musicians who are petrified to show their talent, and they're awesome. But some people don't get a lot of encouragement. So just encourage your child to pick up an instrument or sing you a song, anything, because they may not be great now, but they'll be great later. Because look at us. We weren't, listen, I was horrible playing my little clarinet, but my mom and dad listened to me. They
Right.
could not stand it, but
Mhm.
they listened and made sure I practiced. So if your kid is playing an instrument, just make sure they practice. You, it might sound horrible to you, but that might be what that instrument's supposed to sound like. So that's all I would say. Encourage it, y'all. Just that's it. Encourage them because music really does bring something out of children, because sometimes that might be the only thing that they're great at, is being a musician, and it may push them to do something else, you know. And I tell my parents a lot of times, I'm trying to build a foundation so that when that baby gets in high school, they can go to any college they want to free. Just trying
Right.
to, push them forward, because the school that I teach in, it's a Title I school, and it's not like what we call them over the mountain schools. It's not like an over the mountain school where they have all of these resources and everything that will propel them forward. So I try to give them things that will push them above somebody else,
Mhm.
push them forward. Because a lot of them don't have that many opportunities. But I like to expose them to different things because they can do it and they can get there. If I did, they can, you know?
Absolutely. That's a wonderful balance. So they have the motivation, and then you instill in them like the practice of it. So with the motivation and them practicing, what can marry the two between you as the educator and the parents is the encouragement, in
Hmm.
order for that to be a free flowing process for them, because they're still in the element of wanting to retain information. But by you implementing that encouragement behind your child, is going to make them want to do better. Now, they may not sound the best at first. They may not. And this is so important. And I'm so appreciative of the fact that you elaborated on this. Although they may not sound the greatest at first, that don't mean that they don't have the capabilities of sounding great. But that dynamic support system in the household can help them to produce their best just with the effort that they're putting out into the instrument, which is a beautiful thing, to keep them intrigued, to keep them wanting to do more, because it's only so much that an educator can do. But also, the parents have to do their part in order to allow their child to excel in an arena that can catapult them in so many facets in their life. Because, like you said, music is a part of everything, even how you walk, how you chew, when you blink, it's all rhythmic. And people don't really understand that concept. If you just listen to how you walk, it's a rhythm.
Hmm.
When you run, it's a rhythm. You know what I mean? So, and when we start to pay attention to that down to like a more, simplified level, then probably people can understand like music is just a part of our being, not just on the radio. So I truly appreciate that, sis, for sure. So with your music appreciation that you do teach on a collegiate level, um, at the end of the conclusion of your classes, do you feel like they have gained a greater appreciation or respect for music if they didn't have any before?
Honestly, I do, because a lot of my students that I get, they have never had a music course. And, a lot of times in college, we take music appreciation for an easy A, as we say. But it's like they come out of my
Mhm.
class learning something that they didn't know before. And they're like, hey, well, I learned the fundamentals, or, the basics of reading music in elementary school or something like that. But, when you get to talking about music history and where different music originated from, and they're like, wow, this is where this came from, they learn to appreciate it. And at the end of my course, you actually have to go to a few performances to get a grade. So I give them like 3 or 4 performances that they can go to, and then they have to send me a program, and then they tell me a little bit about it. And I'm a how you feel type person, because I have that counseling background. I'm always going to say, well, how did this make you feel, or what was going through your brain when you heard this particular part of the show, or something like that. And a lot of my students, they tell me, Miss Gooden, I really enjoyed this class, because I didn't know what you was talking about half the time, but I did learn a little something, and I appreciate you for that. And when you think about yourself, when somebody say, I appreciate something you taught me, or something like that, it's like, wow, really? I did that? That's how I am. I'm like, okay, well, welcome.
That's awesome. But you know, you've always created an impact on people, especially through music, you know, because you was always passionate about it. And I always respected that about you. That is just so amazing because a lot of people, they just do or play their instrument just because, you know, but I really feel like um, educators with a robust musical background, they have a way of touching people from a scope that nobody else really can because you're so multifaceted. You understand music and the composition of it in conjunction with being an educator, and when you put all that together in the pot, it's like you are the best mentor because you have like that middle ground to where you can get through to people, where you can relate to them and they relate to you. Like, okay, I can relate to them through this funnel of music. And I really appreciate that. So with that being said, let us know, how did you even figure that you wanted to be an educator in the musical realm? What inspired you?
To be honest, when I was in high school, I really thought I was going to be a lawyer. It's like, you know what? I'm going to be a lawyer or a judge or something. And my my middle school, well, no, my junior high school, because I go to middle school. My junior high school band director was the first woman band director I had ever seen. Because, you know, most band directors are men.
True.
She was the first band director woman I've ever seen, and she was absolutely amazing. The patience she had with us, because, you know, we were at that in between age of, you know, seventh through ninth grade. You know, you're trying to find yourself, you just all over the place. And
Mhm.
she was so nice and genuine to us, and she really cared, and she made sure that we knew everything we needed to know to keep going. And we were actually really good. We were a good band too. So it was just like, wow. And I was like, you know what? I think I want to do this. And then when I got in high school, I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then it just kept pressing on me. And I was like, you know, I guess I'll try it. So then I applied to school, and that was that year everybody had to be a music major to get like a scholarship or something. I was like, okay, why not? And then I got in the program, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. I was like, so I guess I'm really going to be a teacher, huh? Now, my dad was a teacher, and I was like, do I really want to be a teacher? And it's like, I guess God wanted it to happen, so it just happened. And I kept pushing it away. I was like, no, I'm not going to be an educator. And I kept trying to go different avenues, and it did not work. So this is where we are now. I am an educator, and it's like every day I'm like, wow, I teach children for a living.
Yeah.
So I've always been passionate about music, and you know, I've always loved playing my instrument, and now it's like I know how to play all of the instruments. So it's like so cool to be able to go pick up a trumpet when that's not what I actually play. And actually play it and sound pretty good, you know? So it's cool cuz you know how to do all of these things, and it's like, wow. 'Cause like I said, I teach strings now. Never thought I would teach anybody how to play a string instrument, but I can. So it's mind boggling to me some days. I'm like, wow, I really do this every day. And it's fun some days. And some days it's like, why did I do this to myself? But for the most part, I'm glad I decided to be a music teacher because it's really cool and it's really fun. Being able to just make noise and nobody can say anything to you. It's amazing.
I know, right? Making harmonic noise. Like,
Yes.
it gets no better than that.
Yes, I love it. And there's so many instruments, especially with elementary, there's so many instruments that they can play that
Mm,
are outside of band instruments. It's like, wow, so much fun. Like drum circles and things like that. So
mhm,
cool. Oh my
mhm.
goodness. It's amazing.
And I truly applaud you because you never kept yourself in a box. You never restricted yourself. You always wanted to expand yourself and your knowledge, whether it's education, whether it's, you know, learning different instruments. And I truly appreciate that So what keeps you motivated and grounded to continuously educate yourself? Because you now you can pick up strings and you can actually play and actually teach someone, because it's one thing to play, but it's another dynamic to be able to teach somebody what, you know what I'm saying, this new venture that you have, which is new for them. So what is like your motivating force to keep you going, to keep you want to learn, to keep you in the state, in the art of absorbency?
Um, that's a tough one because a lot of the things that I do, I didn't choose. It was like thrown at me because at one point I was literally only the band director. So I literally just taught band and we had a music teacher, but then we didn't. So then it's like, okay, so here's something else for you to do, Miss Gooden. And I had the summer to think about it and I was like, Lord, how I'm fixing to do this? You want me to teach children how to play band instruments. You also want me to do foundational general music and strings and choir. What? So it's like I had to, a lot of times, to be honest, I learned with the kids because I'll learn it or teach myself a few pages ahead of them. So, because we know the basics because you're taught the basics in college, but until you actually get out there and do the stuff, it's like the stuff that's in the book does not apply to what's in that classroom, and it's like, oh my. So, like, because I could play the violin, I was okay with that. But then you got the viola and the cello. It's like, oh my goodness. So, I had to do a lot of research, go pull a lot of books, and it was crazy at first. But once I got the hang of it, it was pretty cool. I'm like, wow, I'm teaching all of this stuff. So, what motivates me is you never know what's going to be thrown at you. And I'm the type of teacher where I like to be on top of it and versatile. So if something happens that where I can't do what I need to do, it's not going to bend me out of shape. I'm just going to pick it up and keep going. So I like to get ahead of the curve so that if somebody puts something else in my lap, I pick it up and I keep on going. I don't I'm not really a type of person where I want to be frazzled. So I try to be prepared. I know you can't prepare for everything, but I do my best to make sure that I have the tools I need to succeed. So anything that I can learn, I'll try it. Cause I mean, we're always learning things. We learn something every day. So why not? So that's my motivation. I like to be prepared and in order all the time.
For sure. So just not just the preparation in the classroom, because I appreciate like whatever is that comes your way or whatever is thrown at you, you catch it, you examine it, and then you have the ability to throw it back in such a graceful manner to where people can get the conceptualizations. And I love that, because a lot of people don't really do that now. They really run from the newness, you know. They don't like to face things that are foreign or unknown to them, and they put up this, like this mask of rejection whenever something new comes their way, because they've been so engulfed in a comfort level that they don't want to, like rise to the occasion of knowing something else.
Mhm.
So with your ever expansion on your musical talents and your education and things of that nature, how do you keep Chrystinique balanced through it all? How do you keep yourself like in this state of serene equilibrium, you know? Because it's you have this graceful beauty about you whenever you do anything with any of your accomplishments. So how do you keep that beautiful serene aura through it all?
I'm working on that daily, to be honest, because I'm never still. There's always something that I'm doing. Like, I need to be still for sure. But A lot of times I take a lot of time with myself.
Mm.
Like I'm always at home by myself or there's nothing on just so I can gather my thoughts and get myself together because the world is constantly moving. I'm constantly moving. Um I do read books, to kind of relax my mind. And I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. So, I watch a little I don't really watch Harry Potter. People think I watch the movie all the time. That's honestly not what I do. I turn it on and I listen to the orchestral score in the background of the movie, which is probably really nerdy, but it's fine. I'm a music teacher. I can do that. So I try to keep myself together. I pray a lot. I spend time with God when I can because He keeps me together all the time. So it's just something that I work on daily. I just try to make sure I keep myself focused, and if I need to take a break, I take a break because it's a lot daily. Um, yeah, I hope I answered that right. I think I did.
You did. You answered that beautifully. Yeah, you take time to yourself, you read books, you divulge in your hobbies, and like you said earlier, you also can make t-shirts, you know what I mean? So it's other things that you focus on that balances you out as being an educator, especially with all the new, revisions and instructions that's always constantly coming. So you always keeping yourself abreast of the new regulations and things of that nature, in conjunction with always expanding yourself with learning new instruments, just being a master musician in its totality. And I really appreciate that. So with that being said, what is some encouragement that we can close out with to just give parents so that they can stay encouraged, the children can stay encouraged, the teachers can stay encouraged, so that is just a movement of wholeness through music, because I really feel like music is the channeling to help us all, because the frequencies in music can allow us to elevate on so many levels, not just the radio, not just your favorite artist, but even like when I study, I have to have some type of music playing, some type of jazz. You know what I mean? If I'm cooking in the kitchen, I have to have some music playing. It just helps balances me out. So, what is it that we can all do as a collective? The parents, the children, whether it's from kindergarten all the way up to the collegiate levels, in conjunction with the educators, so that we can all flow as a cohesive unit with music to help our babies in this time to elevate to be their best.
Hmm, that's a good one. Um, what I would say is be patient and be kind to one another because we all don't know everything. Your educator doesn't know everything, your parent doesn't know everything, and neither does the child. We're all learning together. As long as we continue to support each other in any way we can with hey, how you doing? I see what you're doing. That's good. Or thank you for being in my baby's life, or anything, just put positivity out there into the atmosphere, and just be a good community to each other, because you never know when your smile is going to help somebody,
Absolutely.
because a lot of times we don't know what anybody has going on, but a lot of times just a small smile will make someone's day. So I would say just attempt to be good people. Be courteous, be kind, be patient, be understanding. All of those good words. Do that. And together, we're a force. Together, we can push everybody forward. Children, parents, teachers, everybody. We just all need a little support at times. And a good job goes a long way. You have no idea how a good job will just turn everything around, you know. So that's what I would say. Just everybody keep working together as best you can because we don't know everything. And I know
Mm,
you don't. So we're together on this.
that's real. I truly appreciate that unity consciousness through everything can make a situation so much more different in a positive manner. Daryl said, "Music is magical. Music is vibration," and that's very true. It truly is. Like Christinique stated earlier, music is a part of everything that we do, whether you want to recognize it or you want to believe it or not. It's a part of our everyday being. It's frequencies being played out there that you're not even cognizant of, but it's steady tonal frequencies that is just being played just to capture or captivate the minds in a certain way on a certain wavelength. And people don't even really realize that. So when we start to, fuse positivity and wholeness with the musical aspect, we have the ability to make significant changes. And I truly appreciate you here dropping gems with us, sis. It That's music to my soul. Just hearing you talk and hearing how you articulate and how expansive you are, that really puts a smile in my heart and on my going beyond my face, but a smile on my soul. I truly appreciate your bloom and your blossom, and I have to give you your flowers. A tremendous amount of respect to you, sis. Thank you for all that you do, all that you have done, and all that you are going to achieve. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Sister. I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much. This-
No worries at all. It was such an honor. So, guys, I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate y'all in this channeling session with us. I hope you were able to pick up some gems. Teach your babies about music and how it can help them. And if you don't know much about music, get yourself educated. And you can take my sis Christy for an example. She gets herself educated all the time to make her a better role model and a better educator and a better mentor for children all the way to the collegiate level. Very expansive. So just imagine if she can do that on that level, you have the ability to do it for yourself and your children as well. All righty. Take care, and I will see you on the next Catalyst conversation. Thank you. Peace.